And our next speaker will be evaluated by myself. And here's the introduction to his speech. When we first joined our Toastmasters Club, many of us wondered if we would actually be able to get up in front of an audience to give a speech. And gradually, as we gained experience, we realized that it was actually possible to do that. Imagine that. But then there was this role of speech evaluator that was a little troublesome. Now, how could we give an instructive and yet encouraging evaluation after hearing a speech with only minutes to prepare? In today's presentation, we're going to learn how to give an effective speech evaluation that will benefit not only the speaker, but strengthen and improve our club as well. This presentation is part of the Toastmasters International Successful Club Series, and this particular module is called Evaluate to Motivate. Our speaker is a competent communicator, bronze, working on his silver, and this will be part of his Advanced Leader Bronze Award. If he gives one more, then he will have that award for the club. He is currently our club president. Please help me welcome Art Kistani.
It's interesting that we're going to talk about evaluating to motivate. It's almost a maternal instinct that one has in this club when you deliver an evaluation. But most of us remember at least one experience from our school days when public speaking was such a chore. In fact, many of us had to take public speaking as part of a graduation exercise. I know in my college days I took a public speaking course, and I think that deterred me from speaking for a long time. In fact, I can remember sitting there, or actually standing, delivering one of my first speeches, and the teacher in her evaluation said to me, "Arthur, you do not manipulate your modifiers." Little did I know. So, what we do here is something quite different. As you know, the purpose of an evaluator in this club and in clubs in Toastmasters is to provide constructive feedback, to provide immediate feedback, offer methods of improvement, to share with you the ideas associated with areas for improvement, but also to provide a balanced, nurturing environment for each of us to grow and prosper and feel better about ourselves. So evaluating speakers benefit the speakers, but they also benefit the rest of the club and benefit the evaluators themselves. It does in fact provide immediate feedback, and hopefully it's not just a critique, but it's also suggestions and areas for improvement. And again, balance, as I mentioned. We offer methods for improvement. So a good evaluation should define not only the area for improvement, perhaps, but a suggestion of how one might demonstrate that. Building and maintaining self-esteem is an extremely critical component of a successful evaluation. Learning how to play to one's strong points, in other words, complimenting the individual on those strong points, sharing with them one or two or three of those strong points so that one feels good about themselves. Not only feel good about themselves, but they leverage those skills in the future and build upon that base of strong support. Of course, we're there to help them correct flaws as well. But again, I like to use the terms about areas for improvement. Remove those negative words. You know, we think you did this. First of all, it's your opinion. So when you're doing an evaluation, say, I think. It may, no one else in the club may think the same thing, by the way. You know, you might be wrong. So keep your evaluations an I-oriented evaluation. And again, I told you about self-esteem and the benefits thereof. We use in this club, and in most of the clubs that I'm a member of, with the exception of Peninsula Bros, the evaluating by tell and sell. That approach is where we get up here and provide a constructive, formal evaluation. In another club that I mentioned earlier, there's the idea that it's a give and take. That takes more time and actually detract from the speaker because he has to prepare his own remarks while he's being evaluated. So this tell and sell is the approach that we use, and it's very efficient. It allows the speaker to digest the information as opposed to preparing for a rebuttal to the information. There's basically 5 points that really make an evaluation effective. First and foremost, show that you're interested. Be sincere. Look at the individual. Make the contact. It is personal. You want there to be, it's not about you, it's about them. You want to help them grow and develop. Concentrate on helping them both point out those areas of strength as well as areas of improvement. Point 2, before the speech, talk to the speaker. Learn about the manual objectives, the evaluation guidelines, and any additional concerns. So a good evaluation, the speaker will tell you, watch out for such and such because I'm known to do this. Take it into account when you do that. And while you're preparing for that evaluation, take into account the level of the speaker as well. So if it's a novice, new, they're giving their icebreaker, you want to, again, build up that self-esteem. You perhaps don't want to have too many areas of improvement on that one. I would use, in terms of a ratio, like a 3-to-1 ratio in a novice. Someone like an Arnie, a DTM, professional speaker, I feel perfectly comfortable, and I know he'd appreciate the feedback to do something like a 3x3. 3 strong points, there's always 3 strong points you can find, and you can always find 3 areas for improvement. Someone like an Arnie is very difficult, but you might be nitpicking, but at that level you want to be nitpicked because you want to go from a 98 to a 99 percentile. So again, don't judge everybody by the same set of standards. Look at where they are in their progression. Personalize the language is point number 3. Avoid the you did this or you didn't do that, using inflammatory words like weaknesses and flaws and things of that nature. Just areas of improvement. Evaluate the speech, not the person. Don't judge the content. Don't comment about the content. I can remember one of my speeches years ago when I was working on a speech, and I wanted to do something creative. So I said, I want to be an evangelist. I never delivered a speech like an evangelist in my life. Don't necessarily have any of those views, but I wanted to deliver a speech like an evangelist. So I got there and gave it my best Elmer Gantry, I guess it was. In any case, that evaluator completely missed the point, spent all his time evaluating. I got nothing out of it. I don't think the club got much out of it, but we certainly knew his views on Elmer Gantry. Last but not least, promote self-esteem, as I said before. Encourage, inspire. People feel accomplished, accepted, and motivated when you do an effective evaluation. Thank you. Mr. Toastmaster.